Critical task where concentration is crucial.
Performing thermal protection system check. Interior and exterior temperatures nominal. Houston, the tiles are working great.
While the simulator hurls back into the atmosphere, campers know they've succeeded and that the space program will never be the same for them again.
I think they realize that they have done something that not every other kid in their class is ever going to get a chance to do or will ever do. I think that makes them feel really good about it.
The searing re-entry over, the space shuttle is once again a space plane.
Houston, Atlantis here. We read you clearly. Interface caused no problems. All systems nominal. Roger, we are leaving the hack and lined up with the runway on our heads-up display. Arm landing gear. Arming landing gear. Deploying gear, wheels down and launch. Confirm main gear touchdown. Main gear down and nose gear down. Speed brake to 100%. Houston, Atlantis, we're home.
And though they never left the ground, in their minds and in their hearts, they were as surely a shuttle crew as any that ever flew. And when we return, space campers meet a living legend, and then graduation day.
Type of camper all counselors wish they could get. She's a born leader. If Miss
200 school-age space campers were about to meet a living legend. 1,000 years from now, historians will still recite the name and deeds of the man on the right. But would these hip kids of the 90s even know the man, now 73 years old? Would they care? It was as if he was a sports idol and a rock star. Alan Shepard, the first American in space, has been an inspiration to millions, most particularly to all the space explorers that followed him.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to see something like Alan Shepard come here to Space Camp and every single one of these kids be so excited about what it is that he represents.
They still know who this guy was, the first man in space, and they realize what a large achievement. It was just a stupendous thing.
I was 4 years old when Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic. And of course, overnight, he became my hero.
As head of the Young Astronauts Foundation, Alan Shepard meets thousands of children every year and believes deeply in experiences like Space Camp. So, much of his life is now spent with kids.
And maybe someday, 1 or 2 or 3 of you will go to the moon, because there are going to be some business reasons, some economic reasons for going back to the moon one day.
A lot of kids think it's better to be an astronaut just to be famous, but I think it's more for like the pleasure of doing it, not the money you make or anything. It's like more for the pleasure of doing it.
And you get the sense Alan Shepard sees these space campers as kindred spirits who in their own time will be an inspiration to others who will follow them.
There'll be plenty of challenge there for the 5th and 6th generations to follow us.
He was our ground control officer in our mission number 1, Denise Oxoy.
Graduation and the end of an unforgettable week. Just as Charles Lindbergh's epic flight across the Atlantic inspired countless people to pursue careers in aviation, Space Camp counselors feel many of these children will indeed become astronauts.
I want her to be able to explore different opportunities, and children aren't going to reach for any goals if they don't know they exist.
Flight director and our commander, Jennifer Toller.
I couldn't even possibly tell you how proud I am of her. She just makes me want to burst.
And a payload EVA officer and principal investigator.
This is what makes them realize that dreams can come true.
And so, the wild blue yonder and the final frontier are not just merely places, they're states of mind that require determination, discovery, and dreams. And the only way to give flight to those dreams is through education, to embrace it as a friend, for it truly is the key to tomorrow.
Children are still excited about the possibility of going in space as we stand here in Space Camp today. these youngsters here would love to go to Mars. They'd love to be the first boy or girl to walk on the surface of Mars. But the fact is that they're here, they're dedicated, they're excited. The youngster said, what did you learn most about Space Camp? When he answered the question, he said, it's the first place I've been into in my life where it's cool to be smart.